foreign, I be drawing Basquiat. They ask about Philly, I be running that. If you ever bet against me, get your money back. Carolina Mike's cause I'm wavy. Hopping out the ghost, Patrick Swayze. Fuck trick and bet you I could buy your hoe. Makes it more jealous, you thought they was Prada's though. East Coast.
My whole thing is like, I look at this stuff every day on my own. Not just like the interviews, just everything, keeping up. So I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? Just make your passion your paycheck. And have a, exactly. And have a site that the way I want it, what I'm interested in. You know what I mean? So I have to complain about what this site doesn't have. I'll just do what I want, you know what I mean? And try to monetize it.
So how do you get the content, like if it's a because I've wondered about that. Like I see people's sites that have like stuff that's from World Star. I mean I've never tried to do it, but so what do you just like? You can copy the link that they have next to it or something like that and code it into your website?
That's exactly what it is. It's YouTube. It's mainly YouTube most of the time. Some people have their own video for like World Star. Right. But they all give you an option to embed it into your site. So it's just a simple click. Okay. You know what I mean? And the way, whatever server you have, you just paste it into your
and then you just do a little write-up on it next to it, explain it.
Content, give you your opinion, just like that. I enjoy it, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be on one.
You operate the site yourself. You do everything, right? Like you update it yourself, you do all of that.
It's me and I got another guy from North Jersey.
Because I like our website. Our website's pretty good. It's not where I'd like it to be.
It's just because it's not updated.
Right.
That's really what it is. It's like there's not somebody that's constantly working the website to like keep new, fresh content up there. You know, it's just kind of sitting there. But it, like, you know, the aesthetics, the way that it looks when you go to it, the information that is there, the aesthetic is dope.
It looks good.
For it to constantly be updated and filled with new content, that will drive more traffic to it.
So what is the basis? What kind of content are you looking to upload?
Fun, urban, you know, youth content. I mean, like similar to, you know, a Vibe or, you know, Rolling Stone or Double X. You know what I mean? Just like music, current events that are relative to the younger youth demographic.
So not just local.
Anyway, I mean, I'd like user subscribe content too. Like, I mean, say for example, someone sends us a video, or you know, it's fans involving fans or something. He has an opportunity for you to just be up on the site. So you send us something, we'll just put it up there. You know what I mean? Kind of like that. And that just, you know, some people might be interested in that, some might not be, but it's just a chance for someone to just, you know, it to be interactive. Someone to be like, wow.
That's, I mean, you know, I look at hip hop since 1987 a lot because it's a pretty popular site for, you know, Philadelphia. And yeah, I like to see what the artists in our city are doing, but also it mixes it in with, you know, international, you know, artists and news and whatnot. So,
plus, I mean, we're involved in a lot of things ourselves, like, you know, events that we sponsor. You know, like there are shows at the TLA that our artists perform at that we'll be backstage at. You know what I mean? Things that we have content of, but I just don't update regularly on the site. You know, put it up on IG or something. But
so what artists are directly affiliated with that?
Pretty good list. Ryan Banks, Quilly, Lee Mason, Ape Gang, Darklow, OBH. Who else? I'm missing there. Others I'm missing now.
Spade, PD Crash.
Yeah, Freeway.
I mean, we've done stuff with everybody. Gilly, Chill Moody, Freeway, Big Ooh. I mean, really anybody notable in the city that is making any type of noise, whether, you know, they're considered, you know, OGs in the game, down to the new up-and-coming cats. You know, there's still a couple, you know, a few artists that we'd like to work with that we haven't worked with yet, but, you know, we've touched most of them. We've helped promote their projects. We've helped promote them as a brand, you know, co-promote. You know, we show up at the events that they do. We provide product. We do T-shirts for the artists. You know, really, we act as, you know, on a small part marketing for some of these artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
cross-promo.
because it costs money to do any of these things that you want to do to get your brand out further. So for Fam Juice to work with these artists and to actually print up 1,000 T-shirts for Aquili and bring product to make, you know, whatever, you know, Lee Mason's event better, or her, you know, her barbecue and all that stuff, like that's value. You know what I'm saying? Like and there aren't brands in this city, definitely, and not many that I know beyond the city that do anything like that for.
Not many involved.
Especially artists that aren't super established. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of brands will put like on a bus or something, like, you know, someone in hip hop next to their brand on a bus, but be like hands off. You know, in terms of like the actual consumer.
They ain't going in the hood.
They're not going there.
You know what I'm
saying? Right. They're not. You know what I mean? They're not donating. They're not having their people go down and give product and hand out bottles to people in the locations where artists are hanging out, where they spend their time. You know what I mean? Things like that. So that's why we've gotten a lot of exposure pretty quickly. I mean, we've only been in production since June 1st, 2012.
So how did this start? How did it start?
The other owner of Fam Juice is Kyle Lowry. I don't know if you're familiar with Kyle. Yeah, point guard from the Toronto Raptors. He and I
who's currently on fire, right?
Yeah, he's going to be in the All-Star game. He got robbed last year, but this year they can't deny him.
Right.
So we were teammates, AAU basketball teammates, since we were about 11, turning 12, up until we were 18. Going through high school. A lot of the times my father would coach, or a lot of the times Kyle's older brother Lonnie would coach. So our families spend a lot of time together. I mean, you know, outside of the home, we traveled the country playing against, you know, we were a really good team. We were a nationally ranked team. And we spent a lot of our free time, you know, traveling together, playing ball together, and it kind of became like a second family, you know, outside of what we did. I mean, it was school, home, or ball. And so eventually Kyle goes off to Villanova, I go do my own thing, I go to school, you know, we keep in touch here and there. But Kyle gets drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies, about 2-3 years goes by there, comes to us. And my family has a food and beverage, like you were referring to earlier, with ice cream and beverage. We had a food and beverage distribution business in the city, so we already served, you know, a couple thousand customers. You know, retail stores. You know, we serve your corner stores, convenience stores, gas stations, things like that. So he comes to us, Kyle, and he wants to start a business. So, being that we've had a long history, feels like this is a group we can come to and, you know, legitimately get something started. Especially too in the city he grew up in. You know, he's from 20th and Lehigh, and he wanted to be someone from that area who is a business owner that's an imprint in this city where he comes from. Now, we obviously want it to grow everywhere, but it has an imprint specifically in the city. So we came up, we brainstormed for a long time, and we, you know, our beverage sales were on fire. We were selling all different other types of brands of beverages, and we just noticed that trend was growing. So we said, look, we already sell to a bunch of these stores, why don't we come up with our own drink line? You know, come up with different teas, different lemonades, different juice, and we'll take the best-selling flavors that, you know, we come up with, do our market research. And then with the name, we went through a couple of different names, and a name that we had always called each other was Fam, was just becoming a popular word. You know, it was becoming a catchphrase back in, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. People were always referring to us as Fam, and we loved that because, I mean, one, we were a team coming from different backgrounds. There were suburban kids, there were middle-class kids, there were kids coming from New York City, highly educated kids to no educated kids, but we all got along, you know, all for one common goal, and that was like our Fam. So that was kind of like what we envisioned, like Fam being, like a popular word in urban America that gives out positivity. You know, most of what is covered, most of what's referred to in the inner city comes from a negative connotation. So therefore, we're like, Fam Juice. Just do Fam. See what people. So we tested the name, asked about a couple hundred people from all different backgrounds, and that was the most positive, you know, response that we got. So stick with that, put it out there, get it into print, launched it, did an ad campaign originally with some of the artists that we referred to earlier that we came out with, and people saw people saw that it was different, saw that it was unique, And I've really caught on to it, and I think that's a huge testament to our city, is that somebody can come out with something different, something that puts the overlooked in the forefront. You know what I mean? Because people buy billions of dollars worth of beverages in these communities, and they're generally put in the background. Of now sexual orientation, whatever it is. There are poor people in these areas who get overlooked, and their dollar doesn't mean as much as other people's. You can tell that from marketing. So we call it a reverse marketing approach, where we're going into areas that people don't market to. We're putting our vans where you don't see anything like that. I mean, really the only marketing you see is the trash that's on the ground. So we said, why don't we put a positive spin on this and see where it goes. And like I was saying earlier, it's a huge up for our city. That people saw it was different, saw where our goal is, saw what we're trying to do, and took on to it. Because a lot of people said too that it won't work. There's no way you can target market this demographic in this industry and it'll be successful. And huge testament to Philly and the tri-state area for proving everybody wrong, proving the experts in the industry wrong.
Very good. So, what's the ultimate goal? You guys want a nationwide?
International, global. I mean, I want to be anywhere that's in a fridge. But I also we want product expansion. We'd like to come out with, an also healthier alternative to our drink. We want to sell out anywhere and everywhere, but really, because that enables us to get our message out. That really enables us to get our message out. Our slogan is "We are all family," and we take that very seriously. That we think, we take that business concept, that marketing concept, and we accept everybody, and we put those people who are counted out in the forefront first, and we want to show the world that is a business model that can work and is good, and it's something that we also too, because we want to spread our community initiative everywhere. We don't want to just sell everywhere. We want to go into inner cities and other areas. We want to go to Atlanta. We want to go to Birmingham, Alabama. We want to go to Compton. We want to go to other places. But then we want people to know too that when you buy a fan juice, you're buying a product that helps give back to these areas and represents these areas that get overlooked. And I really think, just from a human standpoint, that's a positive thing, to go for. Buy a product that represents this.
That's very good. Okay, back to the music. EDM rap. Can you explain that a little bit?
EDM is a lifestyle that's it's different than what is considered normal urban lifestyle music background. There's clubs here in Philadelphia that, I guess if you do traditional hip hop or whatever, you may not frequent, but these are the kind of places that I hang out. I've been rapping my whole life. Hip hop is in my blood. I've been on every level of it. I done played with a band. I done battle rapped. I've done everything. But when I party, when I go out, and also my background is I'm originally from North Philadelphia, but when I was growing up, we moved to South Jersey. So I got to experience a different side of life. So I have friends that are from across the board, from here to there. So I like to make my life experiences be a lot more open. So some of the choices of where I hang out, they play EDM music. And when I was doing just traditional hip hop, I couldn't get my records played in those places that I like to hang out, where I like where the girls are and all that stuff. So, and at a point before the internet was really big, as far as using it as a tool to get your music out there and whatnot, the lanes were only closed to certain styles of music because radio slots and whatnot were, the big record labels were dictating what the music was. And once the lanes started opening up, people started being more creative, more open. And now you see in rap, it's a lot more acceptable to be a lot different than just what the cookie cutter concept used to be. There used to be traditional, like, yo, you either a thug,
just be yourself
now you could just be whoever you want. And there's a lot of dudes that were trying to be something that they weren't because they wanted to sell records or they wanted to get a record deal and whatnot. So now, fast forward to now, you know, I can put out whatever I want. I can do music however I want to do it and how I'm comfortable doing it right now. And I mean, honestly, EDM is a huge music genre that nobody's really touching. I mean, I spit lyrics. EDM is mostly beats. People don't need lyrics on it. So, you know, I mix a lot of my influences. You know what I'm saying? So I rap over EDM tracks. You know, and it's opened up a completely different lane for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not a saturated lane. It's like I'm driving on a highway and there ain't no cars on the highway, as opposed to riding on a freeway and it's a traffic jam. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. Like with the trap, thug, rap, whatever. Listen, I love that. I mean, realistically, I wish I could do that sometimes, but that's not what people will want to accept from me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing what works best for me, what people accept best for me. It's a market out there. You gotta give the people what they want from the vehicle that's delivering it. So once I made that transition, kind of reinvented myself, it opened up a whole new world to me. You know, I was already in that world, but as far as like my music being accepted, it's taken off on a whole nother level.
And if you notice from the youth, especially 25 and under, cultures are becoming more and more globalized, more mixed together. And you can see it in a way. But with music, EDM, hip hop, rap, they're all meshing together more and more. I mean, you see young kids from different cultures accepting other things that you wouldn't have in the past. And
that has a lot to do with the internet.
Right.
You know, I mean, people are getting to see other people's lives over their phone now. Now you don't even need a big computer. Yeah. You can see everything around the world like this sitting on your phone. So it's like, you know, things are becoming, you know, more meshed together and whatnot. So, like I said, I just combine what my influences are. You know, I mean, I'm a rapper. I spit lyrics. I'm dope at it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't be in the trap all day. You know what I'm saying? I don't sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Like, you know, I don't bust guns. None of that. I don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to people who do. I mean, listen, I love hardcore. I grew up on that. I love that. You know what I'm saying? DMX. I love all that shit. But that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do me, and that's me. So. And it works for me, and it's like I said, it's opened up a lot of doors for me, and you know, it's taken me places that you know, I never even thought, you know, I would be. So you know, I got a lot going on right now. I'm working on records with Scott Storch right now. You know, got a deal with him. You know, I'm working with Fan Juice. You know, we have a lot of things going on for the future, 2015 and beyond. That, you know. It's global. I like to think of myself as a global artist as opposed to being a local artist. You know, there's a lot of cats from the city that, you know, are super talented and super dope, but my thought process is a lot further than just Philadelphia. So I make music for the world.
So what's your, music-wise, what's the goal? Major, indie? You want to get a festival circuit?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to be on tour doing the festival circuit. Do I care whether it's major or, I mean, if somebody comes with the right deal, that's great. Either way, I'm going to make it happen. You know, like I said, we got all these new avenues.
So let's say these days, do you think a major is necessary?
No, it's not necessary, but what happens, just like with Fan Juice, right? Once you make enough noise in the marketplace and you start taking a part of the market up, then the big guys come and say, shit, you're making all this money, we want to make money with you. So if they come like that and the deal is proper, just like if a Pepsi or a Coke step to Fan Juice, like, yo, we see all this noise y'all making across the demographic that you're already in, we may be able to help take you global, we're gonna give you this amount of money and take this percentage of your company, then it may be worth it for Fan Juice to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just like as an artist. So realistically, you know, Fan Juice and I, we're on it's business, And being an indie is super dope, you know what I'm saying? If you can get the people's attention, you can win. And that's just like with the music. It's like, I can go on tour, I can put my own stuff out, I can make everything happen, and I can make great money. I can make millions of dollars on my own. But if they come and say, listen, we're gonna put this up front, we're gonna help you do something that you're not doing, or sign to me, I'm doing my own thing, we're doing events, I got brands associated with me, I have huge producers associated with me, I got Lil John associated with me, I got Mob Wives associated with me, I got, if you could Google me, there's a lot going on, not to toot my own horn, but it's just like you asking me about, I have majors associated with me, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really need Universal or Sony in them right now, unless they come and tell me, listen, we're gonna do something that you couldn't do by yourself in 5 years, right now. Then it may be worth it, and it depends on what they want. So, that's it.
Okay, last question. The cipher. I think I posted on the site, May, am I right? May drop. Can we expect another one anytime soon?
Yeah, actually, we're the things that we're doing right now are kind of going to determine the artists that are next up for FanJuice to work with. This Fan Fest, we're getting a lot of attention from it. We're getting a lot of artists reaching out to us, and it's kind of making us pay attention to certain artists that maybe weren't on our radar prior to us promoting that we're doing a hot show in the city and whatnot. So people are contacting us left and right. This artist is hot, this artist is hot. And it's like, oh, you know what? I didn't really pay that much attention to this guy before now, but now that you are approaching us saying that you want to be on FanFest, we're kind of getting to know maybe some of the artists more and whatnot. So I think after we do this with FanFest, we may do a fresh new cypher with some of the hottest up and coming artists in the city. And we're looking for them, you know what I mean? Like, they're coming out the woodworks left and right, and there's some dope artists here in Philadelphia, man. Yeah. Dope rapper. I mean, it's dope artists from every genre of music in Philadelphia. Yeah. And we focus mainly on urban and the hip hop, but I think that's where some of the things get overlooked, and we kind of limit ourselves because, like, some people don't recognize what I do because it's like, oh, it ain't this, but it's like, I'm doing some things though, you know what I mean? And that should be recognized. And I don't need anybody to do it for me because I have it, I'm getting it from mostly outside of the city, but still, it's still a community of artists. And the way that other artists win from other areas is that they collaborate with people outside their genre, stuff like that. You're doing stuff with R&B singers or like a rock guy singing on your hook and whatnot, Lenny Kravitz singing on Guns N' Roses for Jay-Z. Like, people don't see the value in that sometimes when they're at a certain level, but once you you can use it at the level that you're on, but it's like, I think that some people are just like, nah, I'm just gonna stick right here, where that could open up a whole world to you, you know what I mean, if you took a different avenue or got a little more creative with what you're doing.
But hip-hop, urban culture will always be at our heart. Like I said, we're accepting of any and all things, and the urban community is always going to be, like I said, we're right at the heart of what we do. And we could put a cypher together. We talked about it. We don't want to do it too often either. You know what I mean? We don't want to beat it to death. We want it to be something special when it comes out. We want to get the right people.
Plus, there's other people doing ciphers right now. I've seen about 4 other ones recently. That's cool, but we don't have the patent on ciphers, but the one that we did was super dope. With P.E. Crack and Freeway.
Like that?
I think that the next one we'll put like a OG on it and like a new dude that's just...
Because it's got to be right. When we do things, we like it to have an effect. We don't like to do things just because it worked before. So, we could just get 3 people to do a cipher, and it's kind of like the same thing as before. But, if we want to do another cipher, there's got to be some other element to it to make people go, damn. Like the first one, people have never seen something like that with the product, like especially as raw as it was. I wanted that cipher to be like you're in the studio with them, like real. You know what I mean? That's why it was raw and it was the way it was. It wasn't, you know, a commercial that I put up on NBC. And then, you know, I wanted this to be like a viral type thing that people say, you know, damn, that speaks to me. You know what I mean? Like, this is how these guys really rap. This isn't like, you know, a commercialized, you know, false representation of what, you know, some of the greatest rappers in our city do. You know what I mean? This is we drink fan juice. You know, we rap, this is how we rap, this is us in the studio, and, you know, this is how we do it. And that got a lot of people's attention. Like you said, not a brands want to do that. And for the next one, which, like you said, we're going to do it again, but there's got to be some sort of bite to it. You know what I mean? There's got to be some sort of something that sticks out. You know, whether it's a certain individual that does it, or the setting that it's in, or I don't know. You know, we're brainstorming on it. But yeah, we will do another one.
So, all right, well, to wrap this up, what can the people expect from FanFest?
You can expect the hottest show with the hottest collective talent in the city that you're going to see not only the new year, but in all of 2015, and something that we like to continue to bring to the city and have it become a staple, and have it be something that the city can be proud of, something that we can call our own. Now, it's something that, like I said, you know, something we can do on tour, bring out places, but it's something that's, you know, Philly originated and started in Philly. And I just think that you're going to see, you know, all kinds of great performances, and not just like the typical hip-hop show. It's going to be a festival. You know, we're going to have lights, we're going to have smoke, we're going to have, you know, we're going to have food, we're going to have, you know, it's going to be a ball. It's going to be a big-time blowout event. We're going to take over the TLA. And it's something that I think that the city can build on.
And the after party's at Onyx.
Oh, yeah?
It's going down, baby.
Don't get no better than that,
You know what I'm saying? After party at Onyx.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. You know, we got the hottest artists in the city involved, and it's just a great way for everybody to showcase what they're doing and promote their brands. Period. I mean, bringing a lot of different brands from the city together and giving people a great show. So.
All right, this is Webb from WutWeTalkinBout.com signing out with Fan Juice, Brian Bates, FanFest, January 7th. Get your tickets right now. Signing out.
Corday Quilly on the Porsche plates.
You never seen nothing like this. Splash Brothers with the aim. I wish a nigga would, boy. A nigga sleeping with your missus, nigga call me young.